Hey, it's Jeff Gibbons here with another YouTube video, and in this one I am at the lake. So we're up at our family cabin, and I apologize for the sound of kids and bugs and boats and drunk people. You know, it's just part of the fun of being up at the lake. So I hope you all are doing well, and I'm going to be going over Community Drive today, which is a free expansion pack put out by Native Instruments. And it's kind of a beautiful thing. They've donated a huge amount of money to a whole bunch of charities, and they've made it available for us to donate as well. But while I was up here, I decided, you know what, why not make a little tune out of the expansion, play around with it a little bit, and then what I want to do is just show you what I've done with this expansion. I highly recommend you go get it and then decide what you can donate. Pretty much all over the globe, musicians are having a hard time right now, and they've found some really cool causes here to donate to. And then they've got some really famous people who are putting their sounds on this expansion. So let's have a look at what I've got. I've got this little tune here. I'll give you a little sneak preview, and then I'll show you the rest later on. I'll just start out at the beginning. Oh yeah, there's dogs too. Did I mention dogs? I'll just leave it as these two sections right now just to keep things short for the video. But let's have a look at what I got. I started with this Peaches patch. Let's listen to that one. So that one I just played on the pads, and it's a massive patch, sounds very cool. And then I also did some automation on it. So I went through and I found the control that was going to give me the most kind of dynamic sound. And that was this filter 2 right here. So all I did is held down the automation button, played with that after I had played in my notes, and kind of took the sound and made it evolve over time. Next thing I did is I went to this no idle kit. What I did with this beat is I laid down the whole beat, and I had kind of a strange length for this first section in the sense that it was 20 bars long. So normally you'd have 8-bar phrases, 16-bar phrases, something like that. And in this case, what it is, a 20-bar phrase, kept it kind of different. But then I went through and really planned out each little hit. Next sound. Was another no idle patch. Seemed to use a lot of their patches, and in this case it was just a loop. So what I did is I played through this kind of thing, made this little beat up after slicing it up, found two sounds that were kind of distinct, panned one to the left and one to the right. So, and it just kind of makes things a little bit more interesting. All right, let's move on to the next sound, and this one was just panned left and right already. So next I've got a BT patch. And this one becomes more important later on in the song, in the second half of the chorus, I'll say. And the reason it becomes more important is because it becomes very melodic in the upper octave. So if we listen to the second, but it's a very melodic patch, beautiful little patch there. This next one, this Kimbra lead, is one of my favorites. So for the chorus part, I kind of took things up a notch. Just something I probably wouldn't do on the keyboard. So worked out really well. So the next sound that I've got is the Junkie XL kit. And I threw this one in both the verse part and the chorus part. some nice big percussion. And then after I sort of hammered some stuff out on the machine, went through and refined it to fit with the beat and the notes of the other parts. After I had everything going on the first verse section, I went to the Michaela kit, and my song happened to be in the key that most of her vocal samples were in. So I really kind of lucked out on that one. This is what I used with her. Played them through like I would any kind of kit, but what I did afterwards is I went to some of the sounds, and instead of just like triggering the pad, what I did with my notes that I had played is go in and actually put them to pitches. The same thing as switching to keyboard mode here on machine, but I was able to go and very specifically set the notes exactly where I wanted them. So if we listen to parts here later on, so same thing right here. So I've got this one right here, switch it to keyboard mode, and you can see I go, and that gets some really neat effects. And so honestly, I just played this out on the pads, went through afterwards, tweaked the notes so that they fit to the key of the song. I've got a BT lead that comes in the chorus. This is Prism, so make sure you have those instruments installed if you want to use some of these patches. And we've got a Just Blaze bass that I ended up finding for the chorus just out of one of his kits. Played that in keyboard mode and then went over and tossed that into the verse as well. What I did with that one in the first one is I played the bass part the way I would normally play something, but then I went to the kit that I had. And what I did is I made every single bass hit, almost every single bass hit, line up with the bass drum that I had already programmed in the kit to begin with. So I kind of just played that one in, but then what I did is I went through and I made sure every bass hit was lining up with the bass drum. So really simple technique. So you get the idea, kind of popping up for the snare hit, but the low note always lining up with the bass drum. Give it a try. Okay, the Sia kit, used that one on the chorus. Ended up just using a bunch of Sia samples. And what I did with that one is I just took a loop, chopped it up, and then I used this note repeat button. I was watching Uncle Knock just the other day, and he uses that note repeat so well. So you hold down note repeat, you can choose the value. Right now it's on 1/32 note, and so if I play, toss that in there, you get some kind of glitchy stuff happening. Worked really well with the Sia kit. We've got the BT kit that comes in on the chorus. And then I've got a DJ Doll loop that comes in. Just needed some extra percussion to kind of liven up the end of the song. And that's kind of it. But I really went through and just tried to make everything tight. And then I also did a lot of panning with some of the instruments. Make sure you get, if you got some synthy things that are kind of similar, pan one to the left, one to the right, and then you'll really be able to hear them get to balance each other out. So let's have a listen to the whole thing. So that's basically the two sections of the song. What I would do now is I would go through, start it out with a nice long drawn out intro, build up that first verse maybe with Michaela's vocals, and then launch into the chorus, you know, go back to the verse, go back to the chorus, change things up, stuff like that. But wanted to keep things nice and short while we're up at the lake because it's campfire time, you know, so got lots of kids and lots of nieces and nephews here, so gotta go have some fun with them. But make sure you go check out the Community Drive expansion pack. It's for a really good cause, helping people who need it, and it's made by some really incredible artists. If you haven't seen me before, hit the subscribe button and the bell, and check out a bunch of my old videos. I got lots on there and a whole lot more to come. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.